I guess now that everyone's here, hello and welcome to my kitchen. Today we'll be cooking the most rustic and the most delectable of delicacies in this world. Today we will be cooking a vegan lasagna. So please, viewer, join me on this journey, and together we will make the greatest meal that has ever been seen before in this entire world. First, what you will need for this meal is one stove. This one has been supplied by Monument Grocers, our sponsor of this episode. Make sure you remove the cardboard and leave it as so. And now, we need a lighter. Shut up. And now, we set this ablaze. No redos. We create our lasagna cooker. Be careful there's nothing flammable as well if you do this in such a location, as these locations are very plentiful with asbestos, which is a big no-no for health and safety. Now, once the grill's heating up, let's talk a little bit more about our ingredients today. First off, on the menu, we have some Domio original bolognese sauce, right? It's very important when you're in the supermarket or in the fields, you make sure you buy the vegan version of tomato sauce, okay? Because if you don't get the vegan version of this tomato sauce, it's not vegan, and that defeats the point of having a vegan lasagna. Now, if you went to school, you would know that teachers would often tell you about the war story where the British men died on the field and red poppies splurted up. That's because poppies absorb the blood from the ground of the fallen soldiers. Same thing with tomatoes. You can tell how many people died in your area by planting tomato seeds, and judging by how big and juicy they get is how many people have died in that area over the times. Now, this one is all original, only human blood, because humans consent to having their blood taken most of the time. Now, ingredient number 2. This is a rare beauty, vintage, if you would say so. 1957, this was made and packaged. Heinz beans, you don't get these anymore. After the great fallout of bean net, baked beans have almost been impossible to find in the wild. As they were outlawed because of the euphoric use that they were used for. Let's put that there. This is the next basket, donated to us by Monument Grocers, our sponsor. Next up. Ooh, it's nice and toasty. Next up, who could forget lasagna sheets? Now, they're made with 100% drum wheat, right? So this is from the drummer clan of South Korea, imported specially just for me by the Italians. And as you can see, it's 2% sugar. Now, if it's any more or any less than 2% sugar, it won't cook the way you want it to cook. This is because the sugar bonds, the sugar, carbohydrate, starch, amino acid bonds, they start to break down if there's not enough of them. It's just like in old war days, where if you had 50 men in a bunker shooting out at those damn Nazis, they would win. Now, if you look here, fire's heated up. So that means we can move on. First of all, get your premium water. This is not sponsored by Monument Grocers, that's why we're not allowed to show the brand. And just plop that on top of your stove. Just plop that on top of your stove and pour some water on it. Shit, is that burning it? Alright, next up, you want to add your lasagna strips. You want to add your lasagna strips. Now, the typical lasagna man, he uses only 52 lasagna strips as per deck of cards. So make sure your lasagna strips are nice and shuffled. You don't want a bias lasagna. And you always want the house to rule with the biggest odds. And you just kind of plop those in the water. You know, pick a card. And now, safety is number one priority here, guys. You don't want to lose your eyes to a lasagna fire. And you just plop that on top. If it starts smoking like this, you know you're doing the right job. Right. So you just leave this to simmer and boil. Make sure to keep a good eye on your on your stove on your thing, because you don't want it to overcook. You know, just leave it like this if you can. Don't leave it like that if you can. Keep it close by, and it will just cook just as fine. All right. Now, since these are very high quality lasagna slices, you can see they're already starting to bend. It's just like that. Have you ever seen someone forge a sword? You do the same thing here. You know, you put it in the water. Put it in the water. You get it up to a nice heat. Grab another slice of lasagna. You just flip it, and now you're on your way to getting ash in your eyes, and also getting grilled lasagna. Now, this is the most organic way of cooking lasagna. Oh, my eyes. Alright, this is, and then you just quench it in water. Ooh. Same thing here. You just grab your lasagna slices. See that? This is the starch amino acid bonds, carbohydrates. Oh, need to give that a nice flip. Now, the more sickly and the more bubbly it looks, that's the better, because you want this sort of thing so it removes all traces of being from animal. Let me just... Ooh. We lost a piece. That usually happens. Most ducks lose their ducklings, at least two. Doesn't mean it doesn't hurt any less. Alright, now that you've got your lasagna pieces, you want to drain them out onto your drain rag. And now you've got some tasty lasagna. Now, when working with this lasagna, you want them across the bottom in this formation. Now, you move in with the sauce. You just pour some of that on. Don't use it all though, because you'll still need it later. Next, vintage beans. Take a look at that. You put these in. This will make up the meat of the lasagna. Ooh. Now, this time, you're supposed to use dry lasagna, uncooked raw. This way, the antibodies from lasagna make their way into your immune system. You just, sometimes you use shards of lasagna. It gets that real bloody taste in your mouth. And then once you've got your second sheet of Lasagne, you just, more bolognese sauce. And then more beans. And of course, one final helping of lasagna paper. Eligible in most Somalian banks, by the way. So all the pieces that you don't use, take them down to the cash converter, get them put into your favorite type of currency, and then that's you. Now, what most artisans of lasagna like to do is they douse their lasagna with holy water to get the industry out of the lasagna. Be gone, industry! Be gone, industry! May you leave my vegan lasagna! Be gone, industry! Alright. We have to put it back on the cleansing fire one last time, folks. And there. Another successful mission. Leave this for 2 to 23 hours. Come back, and you'll have a tasty lasagna. We'll see you in 23 hours. Bye-bye. Hey. 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 No. Now the most important part. Is to sacrifice your lasagna to the one true God. Please, please, Garfield, accept my lasagna. Please, please, Garfield, accept my lasagna. Please, please, Garfield, accept my lasagna. Please, please, Garfield, accept my lasagna.
Oh, human, you call this lasagna? I wouldn't even let Odie eat this lasagna. What is this excuse for a sauce? You didn't even make it yourself. This is a poor excuse for lasagna. You think this could ever appease me? You're wrong. It could never appease me. This is not lasagna. It's just an excuse for pasta. Disappointed me, mortal, and I will take your soul to use it into a master pasta sauce.
Hey, I say, I heard you're dissing my sauce. Now, I don't take too kindly to jabronis dissing my sauce here, I say. You call yourself a god of God of lasagna? What a pathetic excuse, homie. This is nothing. I am the true God, the God of death. Some call me Domio Dave. Taking you with me, and I'm going to mix you down into pasta sauce, just like you said you do with that bottle. Every tomato sauce opened is a prayer to me, I say, and I cannot live without my prayers. So you're coming with me, fat cat.
Oh no! You're not a god of death. You're nothing. I'm the big boss, the boss of lasagna. You don't want to mess with me. I'm friends with Odie. Odie the big boy. Please, please no.
Pew. Pew.